Okay.
You're gonna,
Here's good, right?
yeah, just literally move your seat back a little bit because you'll eventually end up leaning forward.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Cool. Well, we're here, guys,
Oh.
and my alarm went off.
Uh-oh. Time to wake up. Are we live streaming?
We are live streaming for
Oh
sure.
my God, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dis Dungeon. I'm not going to go into all those D's that I usually do.
You're not gonna. Wait, what did you say?
I'm not going to. Oh, Jesus. I never really think about what I say sometimes.
Uh huh. So wait, I need to hear that again.
I'm not going to jump into those double D's. That sounds better. Right?
Yeah, just come a little closer, bro, so they can both see our.
Our one lovely faces and T-shirts.
Yeah, our beautiful faces. Wow, you're so.
There
pretty.
we are.
You're so pretty.
Back in the saddle.
You're so back in the saddle. What?
That's a song back in the day. Back in the saddle again. Julian, how you been?
I've been good, man.
Good.
I've been working a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Starting your own business is very challenging in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, the positivity from it is you'll be your own boss. And that allows you to become your own manager, your own assistant, and your own, marketing squad. So it's imperative that every little step you take, every little move you make, you watch what you're doing. I threw him in there. I did it.
every episode he finds a way to reference or to homage Sting.
Somehow. Yeah.
Somehow.
It's a gift. It's a gift.
I mean,
it's more an obsession.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah, totally.
So, you're absolutely right. But I think we can leave that for another section.
Yeah,
I think
that's later on.
What people really want to hear right now is
the music that we've been playing for the last 2 hours.
I mean, if you've been present,
if you started with us from the beginning, you're hearing the full cast stream. It's pretty interesting that what we did this time is we shared the music experience that we've experienced with you and did it live. And YouTube was pretty cool about it. They didn't cut the stream off. And we would put each other onto some music. I put you on to Days of the New.
Yep.
You put me on to.
I put you on to Miguel, and the album was called Kaleidoscope Dreams.
Which was a great album. And I got to tell you, you had suggested that reference that he is a lot in the vein of Prince. And I'm a big fan of Prince. It's one of the artists that I highly respect and highly, not emulate because I'm not thin and tiny, but he's one of the guys that I always try to have in my normal playlist during the days. There's always a Prince song that pops up every now and then. And you're right. This guy did sound like.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can tell he was influenced by Prince. And Prince is immortal this way because a lot of musicians, though Prince didn't have children, a lot of musicians have taken the style, the guitar, the high-pitched voice, the ability to learn so many different music instruments and bring that together in an amalgamation of what happened.
All the audio is going to be erratic because the levels are crazy. So we're just going to start that again.
Okay.
Because it's going to sound terrible in the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No way around that. Let's just start it. And hey guys, what's up? Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
Are you ready to go down into the dark depth, diving deep into the Dis Dungeon?
How does that happen to you, bro? Like on that.
I get that high pitch because I have a booming voice.
You do, but it's.
Oh.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. Don't do that.
No. That's me. I'm gonna have to just put you down a little bit because you won't be conscious of that the whole 30 minutes.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Hey guys, so if you guys are watching this is what it takes.
Yep. Got to adjust, remove, and move back on.
Hey guys, what's up?
Welcome back. How you doing, Julian?
Good, man. This is episode 16.
Episode 16 of the Dis Dungeon, Raw Power.
Ooh, that's the name?
Yeah, that's the name. You didn't know that?
I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah.
Raw Power.
Raw Power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I like that.
And that's because the artists that we listen to are very raw in their distinctive musical genres, where you put me on to Miguel, and he was very raw in his vocals, I felt. His instrumental was also pretty raw, but I put you onto a very raw band, Days of the New, we actually don't use anything but acoustic guitars in a drum set.
Yeah, but his voice was also
Very raw.
gritty and raw, and like you said at one point when I was listening to it, that's pretty much what makes the music. Like, I'm gonna start this one off. I'll start talking about the album that I listened to, and Days of the New. The singer himself is incredible. You know, he belts some really incredible notes. He has a low register. He's got a lot of bass. He's got a lot of raspiness in his voice. He's just a very memorable and enjoyable voice to listen to. But my comment was that throughout the song there was zero dynamics. Like the song stayed in one place every song, and it got to a point where about the third or fourth song it just was predictable at that point, and there was no, I made sure that I listened all the way through to see if there was any variant, any change, and there wasn't. And that to me in general is something that I don't like, but of course that's my opinion, and
it's all relative.
At the end of the day you got to listen to form your own opinion. The quality of the music was great, I mean, again, it's mixed. Even though I would say that sometimes when his belts would come in, he would come in really hot, and I don't necessarily know if the engineer at that point did it in the best way. And this is coming from a purely audio engineering standpoint.
I was just gonna say, like, you got to keep in mind this is also like
100%.
mid-90s.
100%, and you guys got to understand where my head is at, and that's probably why you're listening to the show at the first place, because you get you get these contrasting perspectives. You as a listener may not realize these things, but me, or actually, let me give you guys more credit than that, because I feel like the audience always knows what sounds good and what doesn't sound good. I think that it's just a lack of vocabulary that allows you to explain what specifically is throwing you off. Right. So in this case, I believe that the belts could have been faded in differently, unless that was a stylistic choice, unless they wanted to really wanted to be that abrasive. Right. But in my opinion, those belts would have benefited from from a better mix, where like you're still feeling the power of it, but it's not so much as it's not such a crazy jump from a low volume to a high volume, if that makes any sense to the viewers out there. So that's my nerdy rant. But yeah, I would say that in vocals I would give it a 10, in instrumentation I would give it a 7, and in preference I would give it a 5.
Ouch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just I was really not in touch with it past a certain. There was like some cool guitar work that I liked, but it wasn't enough it wasn't enough sustenance for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, because when you had put me on the last episode to Whitey Belcher Sings the Blues, you were talking about. I was talking about how
Whitey Ford sings the blues.
Whitey Ford sings the blues, right?
Yes.
And Belcher.
Yes.
We were talking about how his voice was pretty raw and it was powerful, and he could go from like your hip hop type of realm and then jump into genre rather. And then jump into that blues, and his voice would carry. And he had like the acoustic guitar, and it reminded me a lot of Days of the New. But the difference is that Days of the New is less engineered towards the fine line between rap, hip hop, and grunge. So I felt like Eminem had come on the scene. It changed the dynamic to the point where everybody was kind of coming away from grunge and leaning toward that type of genre, and it developed a whole new world. And I felt like that was pretty much the end of the grunge era, and Days of the New was one of the last newer bands of that time, but they had that voice and tried to like come into their own and have their own niche genre with having all instrumentals with no electric guitar. So I felt that it was pretty exciting to have the two musical styles go back to back, just so that you can hear. We both sound good now. Thank you. Just so you know, this is also live streamed on YouTube. Definitely check it out. You can see our beautiful faces, the sexy mustache man, and the wild man, Bombay Stereo himself.
the wild man.
Yeah, my hair is crazy.
That's what you went with.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys can, I'm gonna look at this. Look at this. This is the longest my hair has been since I was a child. that's because of the, there's no hairdressers or anything like that. No
But
salons.
but I kind of like your hair, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's wild. To me, it's wild. It's like all over the place. I try to comb it, and it goes nope, and I go stop, and it goes nope, and I put gel in it, and it goes ha ha. So
Hey, man, embrace the curls.
yeah, I'm embracing them. I'm embracing them. I got
I'm,
no choice.
no, you're embracing.
I'm bracing.
He's bracing for it.
I'm like, here we go.
Here we go. All right. So I put you on to Miguel.
Miguel,
And
and
the album was called Kaleidoscope Dreams.
yes, and I loved it. As you know, I'm a big Prince fan. Prince's guitar work is something that I wish I could have gotten to that level. I always think that people don't give Prince enough credit for his guitar playing, and hearing the guitars in Miguel's work was also a nice throw. I feel like they lined up perfectly. My favorite song was Adore. And I kind of felt like it seemed like a Prince wrote it.
That was very Prince inspired.
Yeah. You can hear how much Prince lingers on and is immortalized in other people's music. Though Prince didn't have any children himself, he left such a mark on so many different artists and music fans. What's that?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, he left a mark on so many different folks that it's going to be, he's immortalized. I mean, musicians usually are immortalized because they're when they shuffle off the mortal coil, their music still lasts for generations and eons, so to speak. We're still listening to, musicians from the turn of the century. We even featured some of the more racist vaudeville stuff with the Ice Cream Man truck a couple episodes ago. But like I said, these people pass, but their music still will continue, and it'll bring other genres and other artists into that same vein. And Miguel definitely pulled that off quite well. I'm actually going to put Miguel onto two of my friends. My uncle, actually, I think he would appreciate it. He's a big Prince fan. And my accountant and dear friend, Marcus, because Marcus is the biggest Prince fan I've ever met. So I'm going to be really interested to see how that reacts.
Is he as big as a Prince fan as you are a Sting fan?
I am. Every breath he takes and every move he makes.
No, I'm asking you is he as big of a Prince fan as you are a Sting fan?
Yeah, because every move he makes.
Oh my God.
And every breath he takes.
He
mentions Prince. I made it. I did it. No, but Miguel was a fantastic album. I'm really excited to actually dive into the rest of his discography, because it's nice to hear some new music that even though Prince isn't with us and we're not going to get music from him, to hear somebody else that kind of gets that. So this is going to be wild. Production value I thought was super epic. Like I told you while we were listening to it, I felt like it was so dramatic and leveled up that it could be almost cinematic. I feel like there was some grand purpose to it that spoke louder than even the music. And I don't know if he did that on purpose. I hope so. But it really rang out. And I feel like his voice was super powerful, very raw. I felt like he got every one of those tones into what Prince was in his own music in his own way, because they don't sound the same, but they just have that same focus. And I feel that, the only thing that was weak was the lyrics, because they had a couple of songs that I like the one you brought to my attention last week. How Many Drinks Does It Take? I thought that was clever. The Pussy song was also clever. I felt that was a fun song. Don't listen to the kids. Skip that one. But some of the Prince's songs were so deep, like The Cross and I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man.
Yeah, it's like a very it's like a loose Prince.
Yeah,
it's
not
like
not as heavy into the lyric world as Prince was, because some of his Prince's lyrics, like especially I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man, was getting into like these stories that are so visual that you could see them happening, or you can pinpoint people in your life where that's, oh yeah, that's that one, and it kind of rings true to your own personal life. So
well, the thing is that around that time when Miguel dropped this album, that was the album that put him on. So I believe, and I may be mistaken about this, so if you guys know anything more about Miguel, let me know. But I'm just basically putting two and two together. But I believe that at that time, I don't really think he had as much control over his musical style that he does now. So when you're talking about drinks and in the club and pussy, I mean, you're you're automatically you're gonna turn some heads.
Yeah.
You're gonna get
Yeah.
people listening just because of that.
Shock words to draw them in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but if you take a listen to his more recent things, you'll see that the lyrics start to change.
Okay.
You know?
So he grows as an artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
Or
I
at
love
least
that.
whenever I hear that saying that the artist grew, I think that is definitely true, but I also think that the artists a lot of times outgrow their labels. The artists outgrow they outgrow some people that are around them, and sometimes they don't, you know?
Right.
And I think that happens a lot in the music industry, so it's not for me, it's not always like the artist's musical taste matured over time. That does happen, but I feel like a lot of artists are there already, and they're just a little stifled because of the contract. You know,
Right.
what I mean?
They're handcuffed, so to speak.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And like Prince was handcuffed for
Yeah.
a while. Yeah. When he was with one of the music labels. So, all right, here's my numbers rundown. So I'm going to give him. I'm going to do just run the numbers. I'm going to do 9.
What's 9?
9.
Just explain, because I think the audience won't know what you're referring to when you say 9.
So our list breakdown.
Yeah.
Is production value.
Okay, which is a 9.
Which is a 9.
Okay.
I thought it was amazing. The genre that I would listen to, connection to my own genre, I would give that a 9 because that's definitely, like, I'm a Prince fan. I listen to My Chemical Romance because their one song, Evil Urges, sounded a lot like Prince. I always want to hear that sound. And like I said, it's something that I seek. So I'm surprised I didn't hear it before because of the genre connecting. So that's a 9. And the only thing they didn't do for me was the lyrics.
Gotcha.
The lyrics. Yeah. But other than that, he got 3 straight 9s.
Oh, so the lyrics. So the lyrics are 9 as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, excuse me. But the lyrics is not on our rating, is it?
Vocals, lyrics.
The vocals, I think his vocals are a 9. That's why.
Oh, gotcha. So you're saying, but that all plays in, right? Because if you're right, so if his vocals are a 9, they're almost perfect, but the lyrics themselves are
brought it down.
Brought it down. So what would you say? What would you give it at that point if you were putting both in the same category?
If I was putting both in the same category, it would be like an 8 because of the lyrics being a little bit empty.
Okay.
I mean, it's fun, but empty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, so 998.
Definitely empty.
Yeah.
998. Yep. Exactly. Let me just see. All right. Well, there you go, guys. That's the music that we put each other on to last week. We have a second segment, and we were having a conversation earlier.
Right.
This section itself is usually called "Music Saved My Life," which to us was a powerful title because music has always been associated with points in our lives that we've needed it, that we've felt weak or we've felt vulnerable or strong or happy or celebrated, in any kind of like extreme
circumstance
or emotion.
We needed to lean on something else besides a physical pillar.
Yeah, music has always been there.
Get us there, yeah.
So Music Saved My Life seemed like a good title, and as of recently, as we've been going through the episodes, we realized that this section, we talk a lot about what we listened to that week and how we felt at that moment. So we have a question for you as the audience. We want to know, do you want us to keep the title of the segment "Music Saved My Life,"
or would you rather recently played?
Recently played, yeah. So yeah, "Music Saved My Life" or recently played.
We're gonna have a poll on the old Instagrams.
Yeah, exactly. On social media, we'll have it. We'll remind you guys. But by next episode, we're gonna make a decision on either changing it to recently played because. Honestly, what I do when we're on a podcast with you guys, I look at my Spotify, I look at what I've played this week, and I start talking to you about my experiences through listening. What I was going through while I was listening to that music. So recently played definitely we feel gives us maybe a broader scope where we can talk about the same thing and maybe introduce other elements as well.
Yep. Yeah. I think it's a great moment as we grow as a podcast. So let us know below.
But yeah, like I said, so Music Saved My Life, and AKA recently played this week. I was listening to some old Hector Lavoe, some salsa. I was listening to his greatest hits. I love salsa. My culture is I come from a Colombian background, and salsa is huge, just like it is in Puerto Rico and in Cuba. Wow, Cuba. Cuba. I was putting on some Corona, Rhythm of the Night.
Oh wow.
This is the rhythm of the night, right?
Yeah, I used to love that song.
Yeah. So I was just jamming. I put boom boom boom. I mean, say weo,
Well,
say
wow,
boom
yeah,
boom
that's the
boom.
good stuff.
Word, and then because I put boom boom boom, this song came up. I only listened to like 3 seconds of it, but boom 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 boom. I want you in my room and spend the night together from now until forever. Boom
Yeah.
boom. Right. So I was chilling.
You know what's funny about that song? My old job, I was obsessed with Enigma as much as am with Sting. Sting is more constant, but Enigma I like jump into in the fall. I don't know why, but they were my ringtone. And they had a song called Boom Boom,
Mm.
and my old boss used to make fun of me. She goes, the thing would be my heart goes boom 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 every time I think of you. So my ringtone for my whoever I was dating with at the time would go, my heart goes boom boom boom, and then my old boss was like, so come back to my room and sing that song that you just
And coming
together
together
with
from
you
now
and
until
forever.
forever. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think I had a lot outside of work this week. I had a lot of very good moments, drinking with friends and walking around Williamsburg and checking out the protest, being part of a protest.
Nice.
Um,
Hence the shirt.
yeah. So
That's right. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. There was honestly a lot of celebration for me this week. Just seeing people, being around people who I wanted to be with. Eating good food.
No, that's always good.
And so I was in a party mode. The
Yeah.
sun is out. It's beautiful in New York right now.
Yeah, it's not overly humid, so
No.
it's not oppressive. It's
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah,
So
and
that's always a plus.
so this today, there wasn't too much sad boy this week.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Well, for me, in my world of music, saved my life. I've been dealing with some new challenges at work that have I wouldn't say enabled me, almost pushed me to the point where I have to figure out how to manage my time again. Because I had a set regimen with this hunker downer lifestyle that we're living, where stuff would come to my house, I would review it, I would take photos, and I had this rhythm going. And then they threw me a curveball, so now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, now how do I handle this? Because I'm usually, if I do fittings, because I'm a shoe person, I have my 3 set sizes, and I do that, and I keep going. But the new brand is has a broader scope. So now I'm scrambling to find different sizes. So I'm actually literally running off to chase my neighbors that have kids. They're running around outside. It's like, oh, they have kids. And I go outside. Listen, I'm not trying to be creepy. I'm not trying to be creepy at all, but would your kid like some free shoes? And I try to go that way, and I tell them it's a Fit Ambassador program, and they get to wear the shoes, but they get to keep them, and that's part of the programs. And anyway, that's been difficult because people freak out because I'm not the smallest man in the world, and I'm actually very quick for my size. So all of a sudden I'm freight training at you. They're like, "Whoa, what's going on?" It's like, "Oh no, relax." And it's just been a lot of running around. Saturday, like I was telling you, I went on a gauntlet run, and it doesn't mean I'm actually running, but I had to drive to Orangeburg for fits from a friend of mine that's had 2 children that I felt comfortable working with. Did my thing. Then I ran up to upstate New York. Well, upper Westchester. Let's not say upstate. Met with my aunt. It was great to see her. She put me onto a Yes song that I hadn't heard in such a long time because I focused mainly on Heart of the Sunrise, and that's what I've been listening, the music that saved my life, because I always felt, I listened to it a lot when I was younger, when I played football for a season. And there's a lyric that says, sharp distance, how can the wind with so many around me? And to me, I always interpreted that as the planet itself is kind of giving you this gust of wind to help you facilitate that which you need, and to take that chaos that's in your life and organize it so it's something that you can manage. So I've always listened to that song when I've had a lot of things that are hitting me at the same time. And it's such a great song, and it was great to hear it again. And then because of you putting me on to Miguel and something that you were doing with your squad, with one of the artists that you were playing last time I was here, you had this very amazing bass riff that you were working with. And I actually went back to one of my favorite artists, and I'm going to put you on to. That's Isaac Hayes. and the album is Hot But a Soul. There's a particular song that has influenced many different artists, Tricky, Portishead, and there's a riff. And you're going to hear that originally for the first time in its original splendor with
Isaac Hayes.
Yep.
You're saying that this song, you had mentioned that this song is one of the most sampled bass lines of all time?
I would say so. I know
Okay.
it's written somewhere that it's on the top, if not one of the. So
Okay.
I definitely want you to hear this bass line.
And Isaac Hayes, what's the name of the album?
Hot But a Soul.
Great.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, like we said, let us know if you like Music Saved My Life, or if you like Recently Played as the name of this section. Not much will change, but marketing purposes, brand purposes, let us know. Let us know what sticks in your mind.
Yeah. Would be easier for you to hashtag? What would get you to share our links?
True.
Recently Played or Music Saved My Life.
Yeah.
So now we get into the fray that I enjoy, and that's behind the
Behind the beat.
The beat.
Behind the beat.
Tell us, Julian.
Behind the beat. Guys, I just, again, this section, as always, I want to remind you guys that Made by Audios is my Instagram. That, sorry, not my Instagram. It's my company's Instagram. Our company is Joel, Henry, and me. We are 3 musicians, producers, artists that came together to work with artists out there, to develop artists, to develop music. We can take you from the beginning of making a song all the way to a full production, recording vocals, live instrumentation. We do it all. June 1st, we moved into the studio that we're at right at the moment.
Look at it in its splendor.
Just a little more, so you see not half of my body. And business for the past 2 weeks has been a little slow. Not due to us not having the clientele, just we're focusing on the furnishings of the place, the operations, the logistics of everything. But this week coming up, starting tomorrow, is our first full week, and it's getting real, man. It's getting challenging. In a great way. Obviously when you're doing something you love, it doesn't feel like work. It can be challenging. It can take you through some obstacles, but it really doesn't feel like work to me. I get up and really, I'm able to do what I love. And I'm so blessed for that. So yeah, these past 2 weeks, we've been working a lot with a gentleman named Ronell Fuller. He goes by Elder as well. And Elder came to us, a few months back. We did a song together. We're almost done with the song, but in the interim, he loved the product. He loved what the quality of sound, what we're producing, and he decided to come and finish up his EP with us. So for the past 2 weeks, we've been working on a lot of music with him, about 4 or 5 songs, and he's got this style where he wants the music to feel very techno, disco, just boom, 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 pumping in your face, but he's coming at you with a gospel style. He grew up with gospel, and so he's very, his lyrics are very church orientated, religion orientated, but it still makes you dance, and it still feels good. I know Joe was mentioning that he heard some of the songs, and he was really liking what he heard. And
yeah, it was really dope because, like I said, that bass riff just said, oh, that's like Isaac Hayes, Hot But a Soul.
Yeah.
And when you listen to that, you're like, oh, okay, I can hear that
a
little bit. I mean, it's not key for key, but it's definitely
there's an essence of it. I'm definitely gonna check that out. Let's see. I had Justin come by. Justin reminds me of like a Justin Timberlake actually, but
it's gonna be May.
But it's just as sweet. His voice can be just as sweet, and he's Hispanic though, so we'll call him Justin. I'm being racist now.
But you're Colombian.
I mean, I just do that very well. I can pick out. I can tell where people are, what Spanish country they're from, but by how they speak English.
Oh, interesting. Yes. I can't.
I
could tell you if you speak English to me. If you're from the South, I can differentiate.
That's great. As long as you can do that.
Yeah, I could do that with American accents?
Let's see. So we had Justin. We have Diego coming in tomorrow. Diego is un reggaetonero. He does reggaeton. And so we have a song that we're gonna finish up. We have a couple songs we're gonna finish up because he's actually coming tomorrow and he's coming Tuesday for 6 hour sessions.
Wow.
So we we're gonna spend.
Marathons.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna spend a good amount of time working
Mhm.
on his stuff. We're gonna get him a product that he can be really proud of.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, and that's it, man. I mean, like I said, this week is we're projecting a lot of business coming in, and that's pretty much the behind the beat section.
Well, then I hope that other folks that are listening right now that want to have their own music sessions with you are prepared to go and reach out to us, to reach to you, to book your own made by audio session. Elevate your musical power by joining this dynamic trio.
Musical power.
Power.
Guys, also, if you're a beginner, if you're somebody who wants to learn how to play the guitar, if you're somebody who wants to learn how to play piano, drums, who wants to sing better, who wants to learn how to produce, all of these services we offer at Made by Audios.
Don't be shy.
So yeah, really, don't be shy. If you have the inkling, if you have the passion for it, and you want to go somewhere where you're gonna get to that next level, this is where we can take care of you. Send us a direct message. You can call us. We'll put all the info in the YouTube video, in our Instagram. Again, companies
And TikTok. I'll put the info in the TikTok.
Yeah, but pretty much anywhere where you can find a company, you'll find us,
There it is.
because we want to be everywhere in a non-sting type of way.
I think a sting type of way is actually a great way to be. I don't know.
Actually, I'm gonna ask your wife then to see if that's to see if she agrees with that.
Oh man, rough.
Well,
Well, that brings us to the end, my
Yeah.
friend. Tricks of the keys.
Well, don't make it sound dismal. This is probably one of the best parts of the show.
No, the whole show is the best part to me. It's one of my favorite things to do during the week.
Tataka.
Tatic.
Tricks of the keys, guys. Yeah, so this is the part where Joe is going to blow our minds with the song that you thought you knew,
But it meant something totally different.
but you didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't know, now you know. This week, one of my favorites from the 90s, because we both were listening to some 90s music for the last couple of weeks. I jumped back into my recent played and popped into the song Silence by Delirium and Sarah McLachlan. Now, if you're not familiar with this song, it's very churchy. And a lot of folks think this is a Christian song because it's so churchy. It has the Gregorian chanting monks. It has a lot of deep piano, and there's some little house beats inside. But the haunting sounds of Sarah McLachlan can be heard often in the song Silence. A lot of people, again, think this is some type of awakening spiritually, or just a song that gets into the... I'm going to just, real quick... Okay. Thanks, Velo. Velo, this is Joe's just saying what's up once again. We'll check that out too. Velo put us onto some music earlier in the streams when we were listening to songs. So anyway, a lot of people think this because of the Gregorian chants and the basic high vocalists that almost sound angelic, that this is some type of spiritual awakening and a realization of the need to go to church. When in actuality, the song Silence is about someone suppressing their rage. She's possessed by the rage, and it controls her, and she wants to be released from the rage and to find and achieve inner peace. So the rage in me inside, she wants to release it and be at peace. Give me release means release me, and I think that we need to look no further to the lyrics of what she wants to be released from, the rage that's inside, deep inside. She wanted to believe that her emotions will be captured and caught up by the silence, and it would free her from the rage. And that's why she often says in the lyric, give me a sense of wonder. Heaven is a sense of wonder. Like, that wonder is the part of her that she's trying to release this rage and is seeking help from above to get that rage demon out of her and pass away out and cast out that demon of rage and move on. Now, Sarah McLachlan had a terrible story of a stalker that almost confronted her, and that probably gave her a lot of rage because you don't want that type of thing in your life. And I'm sure this